Hello, viewers. This is Jamaica from Screen View, bringing you a new podcast on my typical No.1 Sentai Review. And like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, very slowly, in case you don't understand me. Also, I try to do my best not to be too hard during this art podcast recording as well, not to cause any RE feedback as well. And also, if you're under 18, this art podcast recording will change your adult language. Once again, if you're under 18, this art podcast recording will change your adult language if you're under 18. Now, if you're over 18, that means you get to watch this audio podcast recording. Now, with this and everything else out the way, let's get into the topic of this. Let's get into the latest episode of Gozyuger. So basically, it's also like this. Turns out that after quitting the team, we seen how finally got a good job at this special cafe where he just like he's a waiter dressed like a butler. You know how those special Asian cafes, where the waiters are dressed either as a maid or a butler. So basically, he's working there. He's wearing this mask to cover his mouth and whatnot for some reason. I don't know. No, so I don't know why. In case he sneezes on the food or some shit like that. But anyway. So basically, he's doing okay there. So basically, he's doing okay with this writing job until Fire Candle showed up, and basically, how it was like, was afraid that he might, he knows who. So basically, Firekin does know who how is, knows how's identity and whatnot. But because how we're in that mask, basically, Fire Kid did not recognize him with that mask on. So basically, Fire Kid just ordered some food and whatnot, and and basically we're thinking about the conversation that he had with Howard Butter, Kuan. Kuan explained to Fire Kid that that the Ghost Roof is my little brother. So basically, you don't have to. And don't worry, I took care of him already. So basically, you don't have to keep on fighting him and losing. So basically, Fire Kingdom was pretty much pissed off about that. So basically, pissed off about that whole conversation. He even though he doesn't care. He doesn't care how many times he loses, but he said, "Oh, I'll be satisfied once I defeat him one time." So basically, even though, but even though he had the opportunity to defeat Hal in the previous episode, but Hal was not his full self. So basically, he took pity on him. So basically, I want to fight Goku when he's at his full best and whatnot. So basically, Fire Candle, how was being narrated to Candle, and basically, Fire Candle tried to leave out paying, and we, and how it's like, hey, you can't, hey, you got to pay your bill, and whatnot, and basically, if Fire Candle was seems like Fire Candle was about to get in it, seems like Fire Candle and how about to come to blows until Hal's boss stepped in and she said, like, you know what, he's right, you need to pay your bill. So basically, like, the only reason why I didn't pay my bill because his service sucked. So basically, I refused to pay my bill because his service sucked. And basically, Hal said, "What do you mean? I give you good service?" So basically, I've been giving you my best service ever as your raider. So basically, you call that service. I can give better service as a raider better than you. And that's when Howard's boss said that, all right, Jen, how about this? You guys um, you guys whoever you guys let's have a contest. So basically if I can win if I can win, he doesn't have to pay for his meal. But it's how wins, Firecatcher has to pay for his meal. So basically, they accepted the challenge, and basically they're started to most of the customers in there are female, and basically they start the challenge and whatnot. Who's the better way the butler in that place and whatnot. So anyway, meanwhile, the others were kind of still in disbelief about how turned against them and quit the team and whatnot. So anyway, and that's when Kuon, Howard's brother, showed up and basically explained that hey, I'm Howard's brother, so basically I'm the reason why he turned against you guys and quit the team. So basically, I believe you guys are not. mm, I believe you guys are not good for my brother, and plus he's my little brother is my own personal puppet. I want that I'm supposed to manipulate and whatnot. And basically, the other Rangers, mm, like what type of shit is this? So your brother who can hang out with felt sorry for Hal, and now they know the reason why why Hal turned against them and quit the team, and basically your brother can hang out and be friends with whoever he wants to, he's not your puppet and whatnot. Your job is to be a little brother, to be an older brother to look out for him. But at the end of the day, he's going to make his own choices. So basically, and basically, Kumar was like, well, I see that, I must get rid of you guys. And basically, he saw his ex, his June, his Tega June changer, and they realized that he's got it's the wing hunter and whatnot. So anyway, so basically back at the cafe, turns out that Hal and Fight Kingdom went neck and neck. So basically, whoever gets the best, whoever does so basically, whoever gets the next service, whoever does a good job to the next customer with their customer service, wins the competition. So basically, it seems like Fire Kingdom was about to win the competition, but turns out the dude didn't have any money to pay for his meal, and basically tried to run out on Fire Kingdom, and Fire Kingdom ended up chasing after the dude and basically whopping him up until the cops come, and basically it seems like he got a couple of licks and whatnot. So basically, and basically Hal came outside and told Fire Kingdom, seems like, I don't care about being a number one waiter. Seems like you win the competition, and basically he just gave up and said, what the hell is wrong with you? You're scared of losing? And basically, whoa. And basically Hal explains that, I kind of turn against my friends, people. It seems like people don't get me and whatnot. I turn against my so-called friends and whatnot, and basically I choose to be alone, not being close to others and whatnot, and the situation with my brother and whatnot, etc., etc. And and if I can, hey. Hey, hey, with the don't wonder why you're not even trying to yeah, don't wonder why you're alone. You're not even trying to get to know your friends and whatnot. Your so-called friends and whatnot. So basically, with that attitude, don't wonder why people don't understand you. So basically, if you try to better yourself, be more selfless to others, you can be, to be more such as others, you won't be, scared to, scared of rejection and whatnot. And basically, Fire Cannon would tell him that, sound like you're scared using your own, this old lone wolf crap to, as an excuse not to interact with people in the world around you. So basically, after Fire Cannon gave him that. Giving that prep speech, Fire Cannon's like, this conversation helped me cheer up today. And basically, he just laughed, and basically, that's when the Tegasol is like, Tegasol, that's when the Tegasol have a conversation with Hal, and like, and Hal is like, yeah, I'm sorry that I quit on you and the other Rangers and whatnot. So basically, after what I did, I thought that they'll take me back and whatnot. So basically, like, hey, these guys, I know that you guys are in competition, but just like that, like, they are, they are still waiting. There are some, the rest of the Rangers are good people. Yes, they have their situations, but you guys do have a bond and whatnot. So basically, like, stop being a lone wolf scaredy cat and get, and go back and join the others. And basically, that's what the Technosaur said. Anyway, meanwhile, somewhere at this field somewhere, there's like an empty lot field or somewhere. The Rangers and Koan were fighting against each other, and basically the Rangers was fighting against, House for the Koan, and basically, so basically, Koan transformed into Green Hunter form, Green Hunter Garudo form, and basically started to fight against the Rangers, and basically he saw. He used the power of the JAKQ ring, the Denjiman ring, and the Gekiranger ring to summon the Red Ranger, summon Decky Red, summon the JAKQ Red Ranger, and the Red Digiman Ranger, to fight against the other Rangers. So basically, we see Rio transform and use the power of the Boom Boozer wing to transform into Boom Red, and use the power of the Boom Red Wing to, to make him control all his shots and whatnot, and basically, Koa ended up basically beating Rio and taking the Boom Boozer ring from Rio and whatnot, and basically the Denjiman. So basically, during the fight with the other Rangers, Garudo transformed the Denjiman into the Denjiman boxing glove and equipped it to Decky Red, and basically used against the other Rangers. So basically, things were not going well for the other Rangers until Hal shows up. So basically, Hal showed up, and basically, got you guys, the others were glad to see him, with saying that, we will help you. We understand why you did what you did because of your brother over here. So basically, we, we wanted to help you, help you find a job and whatnot, and et cetera, and let bygones be bygones. So basically, after hearing all that, Ryoga gave Hal back his ring and whatnot, and basically once Ryoga gave it Hal's ring, Garugo, Hal's brother, took down the Rangers and forced them to demorph, and basically he said, he's like, my brother, you're not gonna do anything. You're not gonna turn against me. Besides, just stand there while I take care of these so-called friends of yours. And basically, like, how was like, No, it's like, and let a big howl, and basically like, I'm my own person. These guys, I choose who I want to be. These guys, these guys are my friends. So basically, I want to fight for them, and fight for this world that we live in, and basically transform into Gozyuger. And basically, that's when his wings start to glow, and basically every time that the other way to summon their personal weapons, they come through their chest, and basically, and that's when that's when Hal got his own personal weapon that looks like Saba or Bakyu from Die Ranger. So basically, Saba was called Bakyu and Die Ranger. So basically, it's like a wolf version of Saba and whatnot. It's like a wolf version to a Saba and whatnot, but it doesn't talk. It doesn't talk and whatnot. So basically, it turns out that the wolf caliber the wolf DeCalibur 50 can cut through space, allows him to use space portals to against his enemies and whatnot. He usually gets his brother. He usually gets his brother to force him to retreat and manage to get the ninja ring. So basically, because of the power of how perfect weapon, the Wolf Decaliber 50, and its power to cut through space, He-Man supports his brother to retreat, and basically ends up getting the ninja ring from his brother. Anyway, and so basically, once Hal's brother, retreated, and that's when Fire Candle showed up, and basically with his mecha wanted to fight Hal, and basically that's when Hal summoned the Tegazord, and basically, and combined the Tegazord with his personal weapon and formed the what's the name the Tega Declaw Megazord formation, and basically use it to defeat Fire Cannon's Metcalf. Even though Fire Cannon lost that battle, he was like, yes, this is what I want to fight against. So basically, like, even though Fire Cannon lost the Mecha battle, but he was happy that that Goku had finally found his fighting spirit again, and basically before his mecha blew up, Fire Cannon managed to go back to managed to treat back to his world before his mecha blew up and whatnot, and basically the day was saved. So basically, back at the cafe, Hal was like, I'm sorry about the whole situation that I put you guys through, but I want to try to be more open with you guys and whatnot. So basically, etc. etc. So basically, the others were happy that that Hal is being more, it's being more open with them, coming to when he has problems. So basically, turns out that Hal owes the Rangers some money. Like, maybe basically he figured that maybe you guys could get me give me some time to pay back the money that I owe you guys. And basically the others say, don't push your luck, and basically, and call it a day. Meanwhile, back at the no the nowhere where the bad guys are at, the other word I call it, we see that how his father had this X on his back, this black X on his back. It seems like it's sucking up his body or something like that. How's brother, how's brother, you on K-on had this X on his back. So like, how Roku for Inuyasha has that wind tunnel. He used to have the wind tunnel on his hand. Every time he used it, but but the wind tunnel is slowly will devour him. It seems like the act on his back is kind of like how his brother has a local wind tunnel situation going on his back. So basically, he's saying that I will destroy you, my brother. I will break you and destroy you before. I'm gonna break you, destroy you. I'm gonna make you destroy me. And basically, it seems like seems like he has a like I said before, like he has a work wind tunnel situation going on with that X on his back, and this is how the episode ended, and then with how brother Chaos swearing to destroy his brother, and swearing that his brother will destroy him as well, and basically this is how the episode ended on this on this note. So anyway, this is so basically, seems like they're taking a page from Inuyasha with Kaon, having this X being sort of like Morocco's wind tunnel for Inuyasha going on. Seems like it's slowly devouring his body. So anyway, this was a good, very interesting episode. So anyway, what do you guys think about this episode? Good, bad, or just okay? Please let me know with the comments below. The comments below. Anyway, sign off from Ski Reviews. 1,